Hi everyone, welcome back to the final part of our MechCommander single mech challenge run. Starting from just a lowly fire starter, we've battled our way through nearly the entire campaign. Salvaging the first crucial Mad Cat, defeating waves upon waves of enemy units, overcoming what many times felt like impossible odds. We've also had more than a few funny moments along the way. When I originally had the idea for this challenge, I had no clue what was ahead of us, much less if it was even possible to complete. But here we are, preparing for the final mission, what may be our most difficult challenge yet. We've loaded up the mech bay, and I get to work customizing my Mad Cat W for the final mission. I opt for a full energy loadout of 4 clan ER PPCs and 3 clan ER lasers. Hunter at the helm. There's no reason to hold anything back now, so I load everything for the drop. My mech, 2 refit trucks, 3 mine layers, and 4 Pegasus tanks. Time to launch.
Commencing deployment. Mech warriors prepare for combat.
In Operation 5, Mission 6, we are tasked with 4 objectives. Capture or neutralize the perimeter turrets and destroy the center, northwest, and northeast mobile orbital guns. We start off near the bottom of the map, on top of a hill, with a good view of the surrounding area. We can immediately see enemy units to the west, which turns out to be a start of 4 Thor mechs. Yeah, I don't want to mess with those quite yet. I set my mine layers to work on the hillside, planning to draw in enemy units into the defensive line. Striking out, I spot a Loki guarding the perimeter wall to the east and draw him in. Notice that when a few of my shots miss, they detonate mines on the ground. Good to keep in mind for later. We have the weight and configuration advantage in this fight, so I'm able to whittle him down pretty effectively. Unfortunately, while I was busy there, another Loki attacks from the west and manages to destroy one of our mine layers before I can react. Not a great start. I send Hunter back to engage.
Hunter here. Enemy mech destroyed.
Okay, that was quick. Let's move on. I run up to the defensive wall and begin manually clearing the mines to create a path through the perimeter. My plan is to approach and hopefully capture the turret controls from behind without taking too much damage. And then, my game crashes. Okay, well, I guess we learned a little bit here. I head back to the mech bay and realize jump jets would really come in handy here. I take a look through the mech inventory and settle on our only jump jet equipped heavy clan mech, the Vulture J. I'm actually a little surprised we haven't salvaged something heavier. Not counting the slow Masakari J, of course. I load it up with a combination of PPCs and LRMs and head back in.
Commencing deployment. Mech warriors prepare for combat.
I run forward to get a bit of free damage on the enemy Thors as I send my mine layers to work. Heading east, I start working on the corner defenses when I again draw the attention of the defending Loki. Drawing him back, his buddy also attacks again from the other side. This time I draw them both into the minefield and manage to easily deal with each of them. Now we're free to move into the defensive line. I work through the eastern turrets, then turn west to grab the turret control buildings, fulfilling our first objective. The way is now clear to bring in our horde of support vehicles. I set their waypoint, then turned my attention to exploring with Firestorm when...
We found a minefield. We're under attack.
Alright, seriously? You really gotta love the pathing in this game, especially when it comes to going up and down mountains. I managed to get the vehicles out of the mines in time to only lose 1 Pegasus and redirect them safely through the front gates. Now it's time to get to work. My plan is simple. I'll set up a sort of defensive beachhead around the entrance with mines, and then draw the enemies in one by one and deal with them. I set a minefield. I said a minefield. Perfect. Walking forward, we rediscover our Thor friends that ran by earlier. I draw them near some pressure tanks going for a big hit. That wasn't as effective as I thought it would be. No matter, I continue pulling them back straight into the minefield as I pummel them at range. While I'm busy there, a couple of vultures and a mad cat come out of nowhere to attack us as well. It's getting busy here fast. Fortunately, I have time to pull back to my refit truck and repair before I face them. Once one of the vultures gets into range, I move in and secure the kill. Next, I move forward to engage the hobbled Mad Cat, and oh man, that was a big incoming volley. I immediately pull back to repair. This is definitely dangerous. I engage him again. First hits I take aren't so bad, but when I move in for a second, ouch. Okay, this is way too risky. I pull back and allow the mines to finish their work. We're in the clear for now, but there are some big gaps in our minefield. I set the mine layers back to work when...
Mission timer will expire in 2 minutes.
Wait, there's a time limit? Oh, great. Here I am, taking my sweet time meticulously preparing for the enemy and planning my next moves, only to realize I'm already sunk. I'm not even close to the end of this mission. I move forward to get some information when I get the attention of an enemy Masakari, forcing me to back off again. But at this point, there's really nothing left to be done.
Mission objective cannot be completed. Mission failed.
You know, it's really annoying when there are these hidden time limits in missions, and... oh, there it is. Right in front of me. Huh. Well, that's embarrassing. Anyway, in Operation 5, Mission 6, we have 4 objectives with a 35-minute time limit. This certainly changes things. Right out of the gate, I begin sprinting for the turret control. I should now mention that I have thoroughly read the briefing this time, and it mentions that the turrets are temporarily out of commission due to our last mission. If I'm fast, I can grab them before the Thors arrive. Sure enough, in my haste, I completely forget the minefield. I quickly jump out of it and grab the turret controls. And just in time, too. The Thors come sprinting in just as the turrets come back online. I grab the gate control in time to lock them out, forcing them to destroy the entrance while under heavy missile attack. I keep hitting them as they run past and catch the last one before he manages to escape. This also has the knock-on effect of causing the turrets to start shooting the 2 defending Lokis. One of them runs in as I'm getting my minefield set up, but he's heavily damaged already, presenting an easy target.
I'm taking critical damage, sir. Copy that, sir.
I waste no time pulling in the enemy Thor group. I draw them straight to the pressure tanks and... almost completely whiff again. What is the deal with these? Unfortunately, in my hurry, I don't have as many mines out yet, so one of them manages to chase me all the way back to the entrance. I take advantage of the turrets to help me, but it's a very close call as he gets into heavy autocannon range.
Fire sword. Sir, that last shot hurt me quick back. Fire sword. Took him down, sir.
Another Thor manages to get close to my mine layers, and I open fire on him as well. Just before he falls, though, he gets one more autocannon volley off. Scratch one mine layer. I don't want to stop, though. I press forward and encounter the next set of enemies, 4 enemy Cougars. This proves perilous, as they are faster than my Vulture, and I eat a ton of pulse laser fire, blowing through my armor. If that wasn't bad enough, an enemy Masakari joins them in the attack. I back off quickly, nearly losing a second mine layer to missile fire. This is not going well. By the time they near the turret controls, all of the Cougars are either down or legged, but the Masakari is barely scratched. He begins to attack the turret control buildings, and I have to jump back to safety. At this point, I realize that I've lost weapons for my Vulture and I'm about to be overrun. So I decide to call it and try again.
Stopping here.
Mission failed.
This time, on a whim, I decide to try something new. For the first time this run, I grab a new pilot from the purchasing screen, an elite pilot named Vixen. Firestorm isn't at full health at this point, and Hunter's jumping skills are terrible, so I figure a full health pilot might help with longevity. I drop her in with the Vulture and head back in. Speaking of jump skill, that's something that always bothered me about this game. It's basically impossible to improve a pilot's jumping skill to any significant degree. Even if you spend a bunch of time queuing up jump jets, which I actually did in some missions, it barely moves the needle at all. Anyway, the first engagement doesn't go as well this time, as all 4 Thors make it through. I lay the minefields as usual and end up having to engage the East Loki when he gets too close. I draw the Thors into the pressure tanks and this time finally manage to destroy one off the bat. The rest get bogged down in mines, allowing me to deal with them one at a time. Now for the next wave. Only one Cougar and the Masakari chase me this time, allowing me to focus on the Masakari one-on-one. I wait until he fires a volley towards our base, then move forward to attack. Well, that didn't go so well. Turns out when a Masakari W turns its twin ERP PCs and twin Gauss rifles at you, it does a lot of damage. So I go again. The Thors get through again, but with some heavy damage. The pressure tanks are way more effective as a result, and I only have to deal with one of them in the minefield. On to the Cougars. I draw one in and drop an artillery strike on the other 2 in the back. Even so, I take surprising damage from the one pursuer as I head back to the minefield. I try to jump away, but then the 2 others join the fight.
Ejecting.
Oh man, that one hurts. I'm making no progress at all, so I bench Vixen and bring Firestorm back in. Again, I catch the Thors pretty solidly and deal with them without serious issue. Next, I draw on the Cougars and start taking heavy damage from the dangerous light mechs. However, just as I'm getting in trouble, the lead mech gets knocked down by a mine, allowing my escape. They all take heavy damage rolling through the minefield. They're soon joined by not one, but 2 Masakaris. A scary sight for sure. I pull way back, but both of the assault mechs again break through the mine defenses. Not again. I start working on the mech on the right, but the second one enters into firing range, unleashing a volley. Phew. That one could have ended it all if it hit. I jump behind the wall and send my Pegasus tanks to help. He begins to chase as the other Masakari gets distracted by some nearby turrets. I continue back, drawing him fully into turret range. One enemy down. Now I have the next Masakari to deal with, and the right side Loki who decided to get in on the action. I move in and out of range, avoiding incoming fire and whittle them both down. Finally, the second assault mech falls. While the Loki is being finished off, I quickly set my mine layers to fix the mess that the enemy mechs made of my beautiful minefield. But seriously, those openings represent the most likely pathing of any incoming mechs, so if I don't fill them, future enemies may make it through much more easily. In the meantime, I push north to the entrance of the base we just drew the enemy defenders from and finally reveal the first main objective, a set of mobile orbital guns. There's also a mech repair bay which may come in handy. I take out the first gun, then move forward to start working on the second. And the enemies did not like that. Suddenly, 2 vultures jump into the base to defend it. This is super dangerous. Not only am I outgunned, but vultures carry large numbers of LRMs, which I cannot avoid with walls or cover. I back off as they use the mech repair bay for target practice. This does fortunately put them in range of my captured turrets, which begin chipping away at their armor. By the time they destroy the bay, one is heavily damaged. The first vulture falls, but now I'm eating missiles from the other vulture, forcing me to retreat. That's when I notice that I have 2 more problems to the south, in the form of a Thor and a Mad Cat. And oh great, the Thor has jump jets too. There go our turrets. The only saving grace is that I managed to get some mines set up in the rear of the base, giving me some buffer against the overwhelming enemy forces. I jump over the wall with my heavily damaged vulture, but my vehicles aren't so lucky. They have to drive out the front, right by the enemy mechs. The Mad Cat ignores them, running at me, but the Thor stays and starts taking out my defenseless vehicles. I try to juggle my attention between the enemies when the vulture gets a big volley off and cripples my mech. We have no chance, so I decide to end it here and give it another shot.
Mission failed.
My armor's coming apart.
Okay, clearly my strategy here has not been working. The mobility of the Vulture J has been helpful, but its armor is too weak to stand up against enemy fire. I decide to switch it up, bringing back my Mad Cat W with 3 clan ERPPCs and a ton of LRMs.
Commencing deployment. Mech warriors prepare for combat.
Lacking the jump jets to get over the wall, I'm forced to first destroy the gates. This slows me down to the point where I'm late to grab the turret control, causing much less damage to the attacking Thors. Still, I'm able to move into my new home and get the minefield ready. I deal first with the Thors, then draw in the Cougars and Massakaris. I'm way more confident in dealing with these now with my heavily armored mech, and manage to take all of them down. I open a path to the turret control for the central base and begin laying mines inside and to the south. Unfortunately, my southern mine layer gets too close and grabs the attention of the 4 heavy enemy mechs that destroyed us earlier. The first vulture jumps into the base, but I'm ready for him, unleashing a big volley. A few shots later, and he's forced to eject. There's no time to celebrate though, as the remaining mechs all jump in at the same time, right in front of my Mad Cat. I drop a panic artillery strike but take huge damage. I begin to retreat, but they don't let me get far. I take a minute to let the battle play out as I process everything so far, using the game's zoom-in feature of course for the fantastic high-res sprites. Somehow I've got to figure out how to deal with all of these enemies while completing the mission within the time limits.
Mission failed.
I start again with the Mad Cat W and path it way better, getting to the turret control just in time. I again start working on the enemy forces as before, drawing them into the minefields group by group. The Thors go down without much trouble, and I start working on the Cougars and Massakaris. One of the assault mechs makes it through the mines, so I repair up and start engaging him at range.
I'm on it, sir. Taking fire. Ejecting!
Yeah, you saw that right. Downed by a single volley. I couldn't believe it. I give it another try, and again, the Massakari Ws prove why they are at the top of the food chain. I'm not giving up yet, though. I press on, beating the initial groups and one of the enemy Lokis. I purposefully draw in the heavy mech star to the east and retreat far behind my minefield. And I mean way far behind. I'm not taking any chances. By the time they make it to weapons range, they're legged and heavily damaged. I swoop in for the finish on the Thor, the Mad Cat, and the final Vulture. I send out my tanks to scout the west and north objectives as I quickly reset my minefields and send Hunter to the center base to take out the artillery guns. Okay, we've now made more progress than any of the previous attempts. Let's see what's next. To the west, there are 5 hunchbacks. I can handle hunchbacks. They stop in a group near the entrance, allowing me to drop a couple of artillery strikes. Two go down, but suddenly there are a lot of contacts on my sensors. I send my mine layers home as I realize they're being pursued by another 2 Massacres. One mine layer is destroyed before I can back him off. I engage them with Hunter, then retreat into the central base, trying to draw the Massacres into the freshly laid mines. They make short work of the turret control. I frantically order Hunter to create a rear exit to the base so I don't get trapped, but they catch my other mine layer and destroy it. I flip back to my map and see enemy hunchbacks to the north and to the west. I quickly drop artillery strikes as I run out of the base. The Massacres seem to lose interest though, allowing me to catch my breath and destroy the second orbital gun.
Mission objective complete.
Okay, it's time to take stock of the situation. I use a sensor probe to the west, revealing a host of large enemy contacts. There's no time to waste, so I sneak Hunter around the south and start working on the outer wall. This attracts the attention of 2 very heavily damaged hunchbacks, which I quickly dispatch. I break through the corner wall to the turret control, but it turns out Hunter can't fit, so I start eating enemy missiles while I'm trying to break another section down. I flip back to check on the 2 Massacres from earlier, and they're both legged in the middle of the minefield. I'm safe from them for now. I flip back only to realize I have 2 incoming enemies, another Massacre and a Mad Cat. I frantically retreat with my mech and 1 remaining mine layer, but in my haste, run my mine layer directly towards the 2 Massacres. So much for those 2 not being a threat. The Mad Cat quickly reaches my turret control, so I decide to engage him. I get a few shots off and score a knockdown, giving me a chance to escape and repair up. While he's busy there, I decide to try and finish off one of the Massacres from earlier. Okay, got him. And it looks like the other one finally fell to mines. The path is now clear to the western base. I leave the limping Mad Cat behind and charge into the base full speed. I grab the turret control, then start pushing to the objective marker when I see multiple incoming large contacts. And the verdict is... vultures. Great. I turn and escape as quickly as I can. 4 enemy vultures in total come into view. Maybe I can safely draw them into the mines as well.
Mission timer will expire in 2 minutes.
Wait, what? I'm out of time already? I know I can't win, so I decide to gather as much information as possible. I leave the western base and sprint to the north, towards the hunchbacks I dropped artillery on earlier. They charge in, but I don't even bother to engage. There's no point. I just need to get as far in as I possibly can.
Ejecting!
Well, that unfortunately didn't tell us anything.
Mission
While the
failed.
Mad Cat has great firepower and decent speed, I'm still way too slow to finish this in time. That's when I decided to try something truly unorthodox. I went to my mech bay to go through my inventory and found what may be the answer. A super fast Cougar J light mech. I load it with all of the LRMs it can carry with an advanced sensor array and put Firestorm at the helm. Here goes nothing.
Commencing deployment. Mech warriors prepare for combat.
I drop in and practically fly to the turret controls. I arrive long before the enemies, allowing me to get into an ideal position to launch my missiles.
Order acknowledged.
The first Thor goes down even before getting through the gates. I take some damage from a remaining group, so I back off and heal up. Then I get unlucky. The right side Loki decides to attack as I'm setting up, and I almost lose a mine layer as a result. I managed to dance away just enough to take him down. Then his buddy attacks from the left. Even more bad luck. I have to run the mine layers away, but I'm able to defend against him quickly. Next, it's the Thors. I run them to the pressure tanks and manage to score a decent hit, destroying one of them. I draw the other two in and whittle them down at range. The Masakari is next, and I have to be super careful with these guys. He gets bogged down in the minefield and we finish him off. I then grab the turret control at the central base, which still has one of the Masakaris inside. This levels the playing field, allowing us to launch barrages of missiles and run away, jumping over the wall as needed. Finally, he falls as well.
Took him down, sir.
I take down both orbital guns for the first objective, then move to draw on the dangerous heavy mechs to the east. With the speed of the Cougar, I'm able to make it out safely despite an unlucky fall after jumping over a wall. I draw all of them into our freshly relayed minefield and take them down one by one. I sprint to the western base, grab the southern turret control, then jump back out. This really gets the enemy's attention. All of the enemy mechs come charging out, and I have to back off. I wait for them to take damage from the mines, then methodically deal with them one by one. It's finally time to take down the western base. I grab the eastern turret control of the base and the mech repair bay, then circle around to the northern control. Capturing this gets some unwanted attention from the vultures inside, so I again back off. I'm forced to retreat and deal with a solitary hunchback attacking one of my vehicles. Then heal up and head back to the fight. This time, I circle further north and around to get to yet another turret control and discover where the remaining vultures have been hiding. Oddly enough, they've grouped up west of the base, allowing me to take down the orbital guns.
Mission objective complete.
All right, just one objective to go. I start sprinting back when I hear this.
Mission timer will expire in 2 minutes.
Seriously? Despite my efforts, I'm down to 2 minutes and a host of enemies to deal with before I can reach the final set of guns. Not only that, I'm pretty heavily damaged. I run back to my refit truck for a super fast repair, then book it to the north, hoping by some miracle I can slip by the defenders. I head up the road and see 2 signals in the distance. Obviously the 2 Massacres I saw earlier. I quickly jump to the side and onto an island, hoping I can find a way around them. Instead, I find a depowered hunchback waiting to ambush me. There's no time to lose. I jump back and the Massacres engage me.
Critical.
Maybe if I time it at the edge of the wall, I can jump over and get away. Nope, no shot. I was absolutely flying on that mission, but I still came up short. It may seem like I was close to finishing it at the end, but even if I did manage to get by, it would take a number of volleys to take down the orbital guns, which is plenty of time for the Massacres and hordes of waiting hunchbacks to catch up and blow me away. My guess is I'd need at least another 4 or 5 minutes to deal with all of that. Still, I don't stop there. I give it another run, powering my way through the first several waves of enemies, but as I'm running by some hunchbacks, one shot instantly takes out a leg. The next finishes Firestorm off.
Mission failed.
Now, I gotta be real with you all. I played those missions to my max, multitasking my mech, vehicles, and mine layers, playing at the edge of danger, taking unfavorable engagements to stay within the time limit, even getting my fair share of good fortune on 2 of the runs, and I still came up short. Like, way short. It was at this point that I stepped away from the game. I honestly wondered if this was even possible after all. Had I really fought through 29 missions only to fail at the final one? I thought about this for a couple days. Could I be missing something? Is there anything else I could do to speed things up even further? Then it hit me. I'm not using the ideal mech for this mission. The one mech that is the perfect blend of firepower, armor, and mobility. The Mad Cat J. But I didn't have one. I couldn't even recall if I'd seen one along the way. I started thinking back to all of the missions I'd been through, and one of them in particular stood out in my mind. Operation 5, Mission 2. The 8 elite clan mechs using guerrilla ambush tactics. Remember that? I started looking through my previous video. My first thought was the Mad Cat we fought at the beginning, but no, that was a Mad Cat W. But then I remembered there was a second Mad Cat on the other side of the map. I looked further and came across this. As we're jumping around trying to get away from the store, we see it. The Holy Grail mech we've been searching for. The elusive Mad Cat J. Unfortunately, we didn't manage to salvage this mech when we completed the mission the last time. I was solely focused on the Massacre W at the end. Now I need it, if only to see if it will make the last mission possible. But you all know what that means. We have to go back and salvage it and beat the previous 4 missions again. Well, there's only one thing to do. Cue replay montage. Sorry for the interruption here, guys. I hope you enjoyed the quick montage of failures and successes, but something pretty incredible happens here. You may have noticed I was struggling again on the artillery escort mission. Even though I have a viable strategy, it's still extremely difficult. I finally managed a successful run, bringing my Mad Cat and artillery pieces to the extraction point with only 30 seconds to spare.
Mission critical. Mission timer will expire in 30 seconds.
But the mission didn't end. My mine layer is trailing behind, and apparently I have to get all of my forces to the extraction point. With just 15 seconds left, I make a snap decision.
Changing attack range.
Mission objective complete.
Hunter here.
Mission
Got one.
successful.
Hunter reporting that he got one by destroying his teammate is hilarious. I have to say, I've never before beaten a mission by destroying one of my own units.
Commendation for low drop weight.
I also managed to finish the next mission by bypassing many of the Masakari enemies and heading straight for the southern generators. They try to charge in to intercept me, but arrive just a bit too late to stop me from achieving my objectives.
Complete.
Target destroyed.
Mission successful.
And just like that, we're back once again to the final mission. This time with a Mad Cat J and a Firestorm at full health. This is as good as it's going to get. If we can't beat it now, we're never going to. I load up a full arsenal of clan LRM racks and advanced clan sensors, grab a bunch of support vehicles, and head back in.
Commencing deployment. Mech warriors prepare for combat.
Wasting no time, I move everything forward, grabbing the turret control as usual. The jump jets allow me to get my heavy mech in a perfect position to intercept the Thors. The first goes down outside the walls. Lucky for me, we also get a knockdown on the second, allowing me to secure a second kill right off the bat.
Firestorm took him down.
Fantastic start, let's keep it going. I bring the vehicles forward and begin laying a minefield. In the meantime, I send Hunter to the west to start working on the large group of enemies in that direction. I pull in the hunchbacks and begin kiting them at range. This draws the attention of everyone in the base, so I pull them all to the waiting mines. It quickly becomes apparent that I've bit off a bit more than I can chew. While the mines are helping, I begin taking hits from the long-range weapons of the enemy Mad Cat. I pull through the mines and head west, when I spot that an enemy Loki also attacked from the west at the same time. Things are heading downhill fast. All of the mechs, including a Masakari, are closing now. Time to bail. I jump to an isolated island which stops all the enemies in their tracks. Maybe I can use this to my advantage. I let the turrets deal with the Loki, but then I realize a Thor and Mad Cat are attacking the turret control base with my vehicles in it. I must have also attracted the attention of the Thors from earlier as well. Great. I send the tanks to slow them down and walk Firestorm forward to attack the enemy group. Okay, well, that's clearly not the strategy. Let's try something else.
Mission failed.
This time I again managed to take out a Thor and do heavy damage against the rest. With all of the practice from my repeated failures, I'm getting pretty good at efficiently setting the mine layers to work, so it's not long before I can draw the Thors into a thick minefield. The pressure tanks do great work this time. I only have 2 heavily damaged Thors to worry about now.
Copy that, sir. This is Firestorm. Took him down, sir. Understood, sir.
The Eastern Loki is next, who's already pretty damaged from the perimeter turrets. He goes down too without too much trouble. Next, it's the Cougars. I attack from the west this time, and they begin chasing. And yeah, I think I got a little too far away from my mines as they quickly close the distance, inflicting heavy damage. I scramble away, and they start breaking through my armor.
Sir, that last shot hurt me pretty bad. The enemy is engaging.
I finally get to a decent set of mines and jump away, just as I'm getting into the red.
Sir, that last shot hurt me pretty bad.
This causes them to start firing at a mine layer, saving Firestorm from being crippled or destroyed, and buys me the time I need to properly engage them. Phew, that was close. Critically, though Firestorm took some health damage, I haven't lost any components, so I can repair to almost full effectiveness. An enemy Masakari W soon attacks as well and makes it pretty close as I'm finishing up my repair. I cancel the repair job and eat some damage, but manage to get out of range and get back to full health. There's no time to stop, as then my northern mine layer begins taking fire from a crippled cougar I didn't finish off earlier, and I have to run it away. Finally, I stabilize the situation and send Hunter to take on the hobbled Masakari.
This is Firestorm. I'm taking enemy fire.
Okay, we're doing well. I send my mine layers to plug up the holes in the minefield when the second Masakari decides to attack without warning and finishes off the northern mine layer before I can react. Bummer. I'm not giving up that easily, though. I draw everything back, forcing him through the mines. Once he's knocked down, I take the opportunity to run my Mad Cat forward and launch a full volley before backing off. After a few additional volleys, the Masakari pilot ejects. I again opt to attack the western base first, though this time I won't have to worry about the Star of Thors joining them. I run to the hill overlooking the back and drop multiple large and small artillery strikes on the inactive mechs. The Hunchbacks take major damage, but the Mad Cat and Masakari almost manage to escape the blast zone before it hits. I really wish I'd timed that better. I begin carefully kiting everything through the layers of defenses, waiting in the very back as to not take any unnecessary hits. Mechs begin falling left and right, and I carefully dance Firestorm in and out of firing range, taking no incoming damage. Now we can move him up for cleanup. Okay, we're still doing well, but we've already burned through over half of the allotted time for the mission and have yet to destroy any of the orbital guns. I've got to speed things up. I move deep into the western base, attracting the attention of the Star of Vulture mechs. I can't take them on directly, so I back off, letting them get distracted on destroying my mech repair bay. Once I'm far enough away, they again retreat to a specific spot to the southwest of the base, opening up a lane of attack. I grab the northern turret control and destroy the first orbital gun. That's when I spot the turret power generator for the first time. Wondering why I didn't think of this before, I destroy it to prevent any more issues with the local turrets and take out the second orbital gun.
Mission objective complete.
2 guns down, 4 to go. Let's keep moving. I sprint to the central base and quickly grab the turret control and repair bay, lobbing volleys of missiles at the orbital guns. Once they're destroyed, I quickly take stock of the situation. The Mad Cat is at full health, but due to repeated cockpit hits, Firestorm is down to only 2 health out of 6, and I have only 1 mine layer remaining. To top it off, I'm down to only 8 minutes remaining out of 35. I gotta keep moving. I head north to the final objective. Just as the twin Masakaris start heading my way, I jump to the island to reveal the hunchbacks who are waiting to ambush me. Okay, I can't even come close to engaging all of this head-on, and I'm down to just one large and one small artillery strike. I've got to draw them away and try to destroy them all in turn. I jump back and the assault mechs begin charging. I mentally brace for a big enemy volley, but he doesn't quite manage to get into range, and I run away to the central base. Just as I'm trying to jump in though, he gets off a volley of PPCs and Gauss rifles. I take heavy damage, but I survive. Whew, that was close. I start launching missiles, and from this position they can only reach me with the few LRMs they carry. Now that I've engaged them directly, the hunchbacks jump across the river. It's time to burn my last large artillery. I turn back to the fight with the Masakaris. One of them is heavily damaged, but this is taking way too long. I opt to drop my one remaining small strike to speed things up when I'm shocked to see incoming enemy PPC fire. They are somehow targeting me over the walls. I back off a bit and continue firing. Okay, one down, but all I have left to fight with are missiles. We continue trading shots, but the Masakari's heavy armor absorbs an enormous amount of damage. During the fight, I send a mine layer to quickly drop some mines to the west while I bring up my refit truck to get it ready to repair the moment the fight ends. Okay, got him. I repair up the instant the enemy falls. Just under 5 minutes left. I jump out of the base and head north, but I've still got to deal with a bunch of hunchbacks. I fire at the one remaining from the left group, and the three from the right start chasing at full speed. I have to back off and fight them. I run to the central base, all the time pelting them with LRMs. I back off my support vehicles behind the base while continuing to fire from the safety of the walls. The first hunchback finally falls after hitting the mines. 3 left. They run over mine after mine with my missile fire hitting them over and over. I'm winning, but this is taking way too long. As they round the southern corner of the base, I take a big risk and jump over the northern wall, sprinting for the objective. There's less than 3 minutes left, and I have no idea what's in front of us. I push deeper and deeper into the base, hoping that maybe I've cleared all of the defenders. The hunchbacks are left way in the dust. We're approaching critical mission time, just over 2 minutes remaining. Then I see it, just in front of the objective. A lone, large contact waiting for us. I know what it is. You know what it is. And soon it charges forward to reveal itself. One final Masakari W. One final enemy. 2 ERPPCs and 2 Gauss rifles. I have no cover to hide behind. I have no range advantage. It carries more than enough firepower to end our run right here and now. I don't stand a chance. I instinctively turn to the right, scrambling for an answer when... What's this? A set of pressure tanks just to the east? I run at full speed behind it, tracing the shoreline, hoping I can get him to path close enough to the tanks. Getting out of range of the blast, I turn to fire. The enemy launches PPCs just as my missiles hit their target, and it eats the brunt of the blast, getting knocked down in the process. I run forward to the objective, banking on my next volley to take him out, and I fire.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Got him. There's no time to celebrate though, as we have to destroy the orbital guns in time. I reveal one and fire, inflicting heavy damage. The missile reloads are agonizingly slow in coming. Okay, first gun down. I quickly turn to the second. Come on, come on. One more.
Mission objective complete. Mission successful.
We did it. I sit back and stare at the screen in disbelief. One single mech against overwhelming odds. 24 elite enemy mechs destroyed, awesome salvage, all primary and secondary objectives over the course of 30 missions completed. 2 bars of health remaining, almost no time left. but overall victory achieved. Thank you all so much for joining me on this journey. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed playing it. If you'd like to see more content like this in the future, please consider taking the time to like this video and subscribe to this channel. It really would mean a lot. And as always, take care.